It's on!
Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to the latest edition of Disney Parks Talk Live, the show in which the four of us back together again, talk to you about what's going on in the world of Disney parks. I am Jimmy Mosley, co-founder here at Laughing Place. Over there is my wife, Rebecca. How you doing, Rebecca?
I'm doing well.
Below her is Mike Celestino. How you doing, Mike?
Hello.
He covers our West Coast theme parks. And next to him, here just down the street today is Jeremiah Good.
What's up?
What's up, Jeremiah? All right, let's get started. And we're actually going to start with none of these people. We're going to start by bringing in the man behind the scenes. If you hate our thumbnails, Tony Betty, how you doing?
That might be my best intro ever. Do you hate what these look like? That's him.
I personally love our thumbnails, so I'm glad you're here. All right, so Tony Betty is here. He covers, he's mostly a writer, but he's Mr. Animation for Laughing Place, but he's located on the East Coast, so he'll do some theme park work as well. And you were lucky enough to visit. I'll just stop there and let you take over.
Oh, Geo 82. I think because maybe I'm one of the few people on the East Coast who drink.
A lot. You make up for the rest of us.
They had to pour some goodies down my throat a few days ago as we got a sneak peek at Geo 82, the new 21 and up lounge at EPCOT, which is opening on June 4th.
Sorry, I screwed up and forgot to share my screen, so let me get there.
By the way, our very own Geo is saying, I'm sure if I walked up and said, my name's Geo, they just let me right in.
All right, so I'm going to rewind this a little bit. Tell us about the location.
So I'll tell you right now, it's located off the exit of Spaceship Earth in the Project Tomorrow area. There's going to be a little hallway that leads to a host stand, which I think we just saw before you get taken up a grand staircase with sparkly lights above up into the actual lounge space, which I'm not going to lie, was a little bit bigger than I thought, but also as small as you predict. Max capacity of 92 people. And they put you in a little lobby ahead of that before you get into the main space, which is the most probably Spaceship Earth of the whole experience, because that is where the aesthetic is drawn from, even though it is not backed up to Spaceship Earth. Kind of a stormy day when I went, so this big picture window at one point does go a little gray, as Florida monsoony. But overall, a very nice space. If you're looking for like IP, kind of like Oga's or the upcoming Beacon Barrel, that's not what you're going to find here. This is a higher end 21 and up establishment that only borrows the look of Spaceship Earth and the aesthetic of Spaceship Earth with the geodesics and the triangles and the spheres carried over. I've also made the correlation that it is kind of like a 5-star hotel bar, just with that Spaceship Earth look. But other people have been comparing it to another thing that I don't know if I could talk about, but a certain club that's not quite 32 or a little under 34. It's saying that could have been a better space for that than the actual one across the, actually pretty much directly opposite in the park to this. That is one of the Imagineers on the project.
This is screaming wedding venue for me.
So before it was Geo 82, it was a corporate lounge, and then I know it could also be rented as event space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very much what it is. And so the one thing that I took out of it too was that they will have lighting that syncs with the fireworks, luminous.
Oh. Of course you took that away.
Yeah. So they didn't tell me more, and they actually had another preview group after us, so we didn't get to see it. They kicked us out and let some of them in. But they didn't tell us a whole lot of detail, but they definitely said it syncs up with that. But we also know that there's going to be a dessert package or a lounge package that is coming with the fireworks shows as well.
Yeah, I've seen some video. I don't know if it was a preview or if it was just, an early edition, but somebody was up there and got video. And as I've kind of said, is you can't really see Luminous that well, but you can see the shells that go up.
So the bartenders told me, because they're the ones looking out that window more than anybody, because anybody at that bar has their back to it. But they told me you could see the fountains and the colors and stuff as well.
I know that this is a 21 and older, right, venue that we're looking at.
Yes, 21 and up.
And is this like just book it like you would say, you know, Space 220 or something like that? You just book it so many days out,
That is my understanding, and my understanding is that as far as reservations go out, let me tell you about that bathroom in a second. As far as reservations go out, they are already fully booked.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh,
So
they
the Imaginary I spoke to, Sashi, goes, "Oh, and you have to check out the bathrooms."
Okay.
And I said, "All right, why?" And I ran in there and I was looking, and there we were very limited amount of time in this venue. So I kind of gave it a once over, but I felt like I missed something. So I spent probably a little bit too long in the bathroom compared to anybody. I don't think anybody, to be honest, I don't think anybody else even went in the bathroom. But I was looking around, I'm like, is there a Smart One reference? Is there a Jeremy Irons reference? Is there something that I should be looking for? So I come back out and I talked with her again. I said, why did you send me into the bathroom? She goes, oh, I thought you would like the aesthetic. That was it. It had nothing to do with any kind of like wild goose chase for Easter eggs. She thought I would like it. And it's very sparkly. It actually reminded me of, if you've ever been on the Disney Dream, in the district, they have like very sparkly black bathrooms. It was those.
I was gonna say this, all of the pictures that you're looking at, I feel like if somebody showed them to me, I would have been like, oh, this must be something from the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Because that space is very compact.
Yeah.
This view looks spectacular, though. I mean, the space is bigger than I expected, or at least it feels bigger than I expected. But the view, I mean, this is why you go here.
Doesn't it look like there should be a fountain right there or something, though?
Don't break my heart.
I love second story views, so I'm happy they added one to the park. But the thing that's just
what's even better than a second story view?
What's that, Tony?
A third story view, maybe a fourth story view. Some cities have 110 story views.
Yeah, there's a limit where I stop loving it, though.
Okay.
But the disappointment is it's nice. It looks decent. It looks nice. I certainly would love to hang here. But you know, you don't plan 3 months ahead of time to be on the phone at midnight to go to a bar. You want to just be able to go and hang for a little bit.
So I also asked why, because there's a trend right now of the Disney lounges incorporating some kind of G-rated. We have DJ Rex. The upcoming Beacon Barrel will have Rummy, if I remember the name of the bird right. Stuff like that. And they basically said this is an elevated, upscale space, 21 and up. And they kind of dodged the question. I also asked why they didn't put it in a larger space, say as part of the Communicore Hall area. And they basically said, we like to reimagine things here at EPCOT. And I'm okay. That was a nice textbook answer, but
it's a weird space. I like the way it turned out, but this is a weird space.
It is very pretty. And so they had an amazing hummus plate. I will also talk about that real quick. Amazing hummus plate, and then they had a neon drink that was made mostly of tequila called the Electron. Tequila is not necessarily my jam, but the butter old-fashioned bourbon, which is the big one, and they have a big ice cube in it, and they stamp Spaceship Earth on it. That's going to be the social media darling, if it's not already, and it's also delicious. But the prices are probably going to make people question their reservation for this lounge too, I think.
You do not know the prices at this point?
Offhand, yes, we have pictures of the menu. But offhand, I think that old-fashioned that we just showed was $28.
Yeah.
And it's mostly the solid ice cube.
Yeah.
So well, that's the cost of most upscale bars for the drinks. So
why we don't drink, right, Jeremiah?
Exactly.
It's I go back to EPCOT has festivals and stuff like that. So it's going to be hard to sell that when you can go get an equally sized portion at a booth for $8.
So
speaking of drinks, to Jeremiah with his 40.
I know,
not a 40, a 40.
We put a video of this on TikTok that's doing really well. And so it's fun to read the comments. And the top comment is something along the lines of, just what EPCOT needed, another place for adults to drink.
The nice thing about this one is it's right there near the entrance, so you don't have to go all the way over.
I'm interested to see, because the entrance is a small, like almost vestibule off of Project Tomorrow and the west side exit of Spaceship Earth. I'm interested to see how the crowd grows around that. they said there's going to be cast members controlling it at the host podium, but they're not allowed to come into the exit area. I'm just a little. That's going to change, I think, very quickly.
That grand staircase, did it have a soundtrack or was it just decor?
If there was, that wasn't playing.
Okay.
Yep. There was a lot of in the actual seating. There was a lot of elevator jazz, but nothing indicative of EPCOT. It was just very.
So, as the only person that's been there, do you foresee yourself going here, Tony?
If I had friends in town and they got the reservation, I might, but I don't see myself at least right away fighting that demand yet for that place.
Okay. Does this look good to you, Mike? I know you like to drink.
Yes, I would like to check it out.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to check it out.
I know you would.
Yep.
I'd like to check it out. Just
the best part that I like is, and you'll see it in that video again, is when you come in and you make that. There's the little lounge with the Spaceship Earth art, and then you go through a little tunnel and go make a hard right, and it's along a wall, and the wall makes it looks like you're backed up to Spaceship Earth. That's probably the seal of the deal for that being a cool space to me. If it weren't for that, I don't know. I wouldn't like it as much as I did. I don't think
that for me makes me feel like the Disney cruise ship.
Yeah.
That's where when you pass that part, that's what really screamed. That's what really triggered memories of the Disney cruise ship. That wall.
Is it the suite on the Treasure the same way? Okay.
Yeah.
I have not seen that, so hey, maybe it was the art of animation.
I've only seen pictures. Pictures, but
who do you think we are, Tony? We ain't staying in no.
That's where my brain went. But no, this space looks really beautiful. I'm looking forward to giving it a try.
I want to know what it's going to be like when it's full of people.
Yeah.
It's one thing when there's 15 of us. It's another when there's 92.
Yeah. So, well, my challenge right now with some of the spaces, for example, I know a lot of people really like California Grill. Is that the name of what it's called at Top of Contemporary California Grill?
Top of the world.
I find it too loud because it's the open kitchen and the very open dining and whatnot. And so I've not tended to want to go there, even though it has pretty views, because for me, I want to take in those views in like a more subdued environment. So I'm curious to see what the vibe's going to be here, because I feel like I would want similar. This, for me, I want it to be kind of a bit more low key, and I'm interested to see if you can get that.
So speaking of too loud, and this might be because, again, there was 15 of us, the music was quite loud for that small space. That's always a knob control, or maybe it could be muted with other people talking. But there was when we went in there was 10 to 15 of us, and we were all very kind of like doing our own thing and quiet. But that music, when I even tried to talk to anybody, was it's very overbearing for what it is.
I have a question for Jeremiah, because this is kind of up his alley. Do you think on opening day there will be any influencers here?
The opening day reservations were gone long before I could even get on the site.
Yeah.
So, and it is also, the price is high. They put up the pricing on, I believe, the Parks blog. They had the kind of the rundown of everything, and it is very expensive for the drinks. But again, people will go because it's a fancy bar.
Did they announce any sort of a minimum or cover charge or maximum length of stay, or can I just go there?
So I did ask about if it's like other places where there's a 45-minute, and the beverage director basically said we're not enforcing any kind of time limit at this point, but our service will average around an hour.
Okay.
So.
All right, Tony, you did a great job, man.
For some reason, though, Tony talking about food makes me want to go back to that really great Mexican restaurant at the Dolphin.
Oh my gosh.
Rosa something. Because that's what
little stress avocado that had it on it.
Yeah, the last time we spoke about food, it was about that wonderful place, and so now all of a sudden I'm craving their drinks and their guacamole and everything. So yeah.
On our digital frame and on our TV, one of the ones in our rotation is what Tony, I think of, is having dinner at Lazy Dog Cafe with Tony. So Tony talks about food. I think Lazy Dog. Here's a good question. You mentioned the hummus. Are there other appetizers?
There are. They also showed off a nice tuna, if that's kind of what you're in. Not like a tuna salad. but like, the little tuna squares. That's not my jam. And they pour truffle oil all over it, which make it more not my jam. But
When he's a meat and potatoes
but
kind of man.
I did devour that hummus, and they had the head chef also kind of talking about the hummus, and I said I could eat a plate of this if I had more chips, and he goes, okay, and then here come more chips.
Way to go, Tony.
Yep.
So there's your pro tip. If you're there,
Yeah, the hummus is the way to go for sure. Everybody was talking about that. That and the old fashioned. Some people like the Electron, but I think that was more of a okay. Where's that old fashioned again? So.
And if you're running low on chips with the hummus, just give it a. And then
the chef did that. Yes, I did not do that.
Servers love that.
I did not do that. The chef did that. And remember, one thing, can you show the pictures again? Because you said
remember when we asked for more bread with our hummus at Olani?
Yeah, we never got it.
That's right.
Find one with the cast members in it.
I'm working on it. There's some.
There we go.
It's there. Go keep going because there should be some closer ones. That's the hummus plate, by the way.
Thank you. I don't think so.
No, don't think so.
Well, then I have plenty in my own collection that were not used. If you go back to that one, then if you look closely at their bow ties and their neckties, it is also the triangles of Spaceship Earth.
Oh, nice.
So
very cool.
All right.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
Very nice. Okay, Tony. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, this afternoon, whatever we are. I don't know. Evening for you.
Okay.
Afternoon for me. Morning for nobody.
According to our editor, we can walk in and say, Tony said I get unlimited chips.
Actually, I believe it. Tony said I get
as long as the guy in a chef coat does the clapping.
Just the equivalent of Red Robin fries.
Yep.
All right. Get back to work, Tony.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Tony.
That's Tony Betty, everyone. Tony. Betti. All right, moving right along over at, we just did one of these shows on Thursday, so we don't got a ton to talk about today. We're going to blow right through it. We know y'all got stuff to do, but have you been able to see the new Welcome Center over at Fort Wilderness? Jeremiah?
No, that literally opened, I believe, this past weekend.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's great that there's a Welcome Center. The Fort Wilderness campground area has turned into almost a DVC Central recently. So it's interesting to have that there. Hopefully you can actually walk into it as opposed to the one in Canada.
Yep, showing off the new cabins there, the newly replaced cabins that we got to stay in a while ago, and they're not bad. All right, over at I guess everywhere there's a new tram spiel. Have you experienced it yet, Jeremiah?
No, in Florida, true Floridians walk because it's faster than taking the tram. But this also appeared, I believe, on Saturday or Friday when Tony was at EPCOT.
Well, guess I should have kept him on. It has an extensive. You still there? Oh, there he is. Hey, Tony. Can we talk about this a little bit?
Sure. So I don't tram either, to validate Jeremiah's statement. And then and even still, the California trams have spoiled me because those are basically the cast member, sit back, relax, boom, and then you hear the spiel the whole time. Here, it's a bunch of college kids thinking this is their breakout into stand-up comedy, and it kind of gets a little thin. So when I heard that spiel, they play it, and it's basically what they say while they're killing the time before the tram goes, basically about no weapons, no selfie sticks. If they have them in your car, go back to your car. That's the pre-recorded bit. I don't know if you could hear it on the video that was up there, but they play that while people are kind of loading, and then they still stick, at least with this particular tram, they still stick with their usual shtick and proceed out into the lot. So if you're coming or going, you're only going to hear that while you load.
Okay.
I thought the interesting thing about it was making sure to tell you, hey, don't forget to leave your gun in the car. And
Florida, man.
And but then the way it's worded, it says like leave weapons behind. also selfie sticks.
Yeah, I know what you're. Yeah, because it makes it sound like selfie sticks are
It
weapons,
sounds-
which they
yeah,
can be if you're on a ride with one.
It sounds like that they're worried your selfie stick's gonna be a weapon. So it's just kind of. By the way, I don't think they actually use the word gun. I think they say weapons.
I think they say weapons. Yeah, they don't say.
But I just know there's been reports here and there over the past few years of people being like, "Oops, I forgot I had that in my purse." Kind of
forgot. Yeah.
You know.
Well, that is definitely just the legal. Like they had to put it on there, so it's just like in the pre-show videos, you have to tell them to buckle their seatbelts because that's safety, and that way they're already warned, as opposed to getting all the way up there and going, "Oh, I forgot my gun and selfie stick in my bag."
It's happened.
Also, should we be saying the G word now that I think about it on YouTube?
I mean, it's too late now.
Okay.
Speaking of G word,
we're talking about muscles.
Okay.
Mike Celestino. So we know what true Floridians do. What do California? Tony, I had another one for you, so stay close. You can go now, but stay close. Mike,
I'm getting sick right now.
What do true Californians do? Do you take the tram or do you walk it?
My instinct, my inclination is to walk because I need the steps and the exercise. But if I'm in a rush, I will definitely take the tram.
Both ways? Same thing both ways?
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost always, if I have the time, I almost always walk both in and out.
So do you miss the old walk then, where you didn't have to go all the way through downtown Disney?
Yeah, but I don't mind walking through downtown Disney. It's fun.
guess that's your job too. So kind of,
yeah.
Good point. All right, Jeremiah, you we talked about Cool Kid Summer not too long ago, but you have now done your Hey Everyone. So you want to just talk a little bit about your video, why people should, excuse me, let me rephrase that. This, as you may recognize, is Laughing Place on Location. All right, go ahead, Jeremiah.
So starting last weekend, the Cool Kid Summer has kicked off. Each of the parks has their own activations. You can go through and see, and you really do see how they focus strongly on the activations at someplace like Disney's Hollywood Studios, where you go to Animal Kingdom and they have one badge for the Wilderness Explorers, and then you have to take the train out to the affection section, conservation station, whatever you want to call it, Rafiki's Planet Watch, and they have a color, a headband or a wristband for the pollinators of Florida.
Aww.
So
I love this running at fast speed. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, this is LP on Location. You can find out lots more about Cool Kid Summer in the last show on Thursday, and obviously on Laughing Place. And if you want to book a trip to Disney World during Cool Kid Summer, Rebecca, what do you recommend people do?
We have a travel partner here at Laughing Place, and that is MEI Mousefan Travel. And we recommend them. They are quite knowledgeable within the realm of Disney vacations and overall just vacations in general. There is no additional cost to using a travel planner. And so you might as well go ahead and take advantage of their knowledge, and they'll have your back. If some new deals pop up that apply to your vacation, they'll reach out to you and let you know about it. So stop by our friends over at Mousefan Travel. And
don't forget, they will also wake up at 3 a.m. to book your Geo 82 reservations.
That may be the best reason in the world to use them. I feel like, Kyle, if you're watching, when we do stuff like Geo 82, we need to make a special note of that in our promo for Mousefan Travel, because I forget that they have that service. Mike, what you been up to? I don't have a whole lot of DLR in today's show, so I'm just gonna open it up to you.
Well, I edited that video, the LP on Location.
Right, good job.
He has to sit through my annoying videos. Yes, I don't even watch my own videos, and Mike has to go through them multiple times.
Yeah, I edited the one that we did, and oh my, if I never see a video of Alani again, that'll be just fine.
Aww.
Okay, everybody heard that.
I'll get over it.
I want to go to Alani.
I'll get over it, but Mike, you must have heard Cool Kid Summer a few hundred times in the process.
I can't hear that phrase without thinking of the song Cruel, Cruel Summer, but with the words Cool Kid Summer.
Tying in with Alani and Blue Crush.
Ethan,
go.
our weatherman on the morning show, did a parody version of Cruel Summer with Cool Kid Summer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so you think like an AI, Mike.
I've been told that many, many times.
Have you been up to anything? Have you gotten anywhere?
Since last we did this on Thursday, right?
Yeah,
So,
you talked about the escape room.
yeah, I
Already.
don't think so.
No, you haven't gotten to see Rex yet, have you?
No, I'm going Wednesday. I have a
Okay.
reservation.
Haha, I'm gonna beat you, Mike. You won't have to worry about dealing with him on Wednesday.
Okay.
I'll go get him tomorrow.
Get him tomorrow.
Yeah, I was there yesterday or the day before yesterday, and they announced him the next day, of course.
So yes, Rex himself will be making his debut at DCA. Not his debut, but his DCA debut at California Adventure.
With scary arms.
Or has made it, I guess. Is this a great looking? I mean, he just looks a little weird to me. This does not look like the best book. Yeah, he looks skinny.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's bugging me these days?
What's buggy? What's in your shorts there?
Yeah, what's in my pocket? What's got me out of pocket?
What's out of your?
There was a time when if you were a character performer, you kept that to yourself to the day you died. You would be friend of, oh, I used to be a friend of Snow White. Now my feed is constantly hit with, I used to work at Disneyland. Oh, you worked at Small World? And then it shows a video of them. Not exactly. And it shows them as the character, like a bunch of videos of them as the character. That's not the way it used to be. If you are a character, you sign a pact in blood that you never, ever admit.
Omerta.
Someone plays that character. Yeah, an omerta. You never, ever admit that that's not the character. And it bugs me, and they should be put on no rehire list. And just because, and maybe they didn't want to come back, they don't care. So their descendants to 4 generations should be put on no rehire list.
Speaking of something that is completely off the wall, something we didn't add on that was announced today that Universal Hollywood and Universal Orlando for their Halloween Horror Nights is going to have a Five Nights of Freddy something.
Yes, I did not add that. You are correct, but that's fine. That's fine to mention that.
Come on, we got to talk about something on this thing. Yeah, the Five Nights of Freddy promotion, which is Gideon a Five Nights of Freddy? Does he play that game?
No.
Gideon is not a gamer. He's at Minecraft, but he is not a gamer.
He's a Minecraft builder. He doesn't game at all.
Yeah, he doesn't game.
I
saw the movie Five Nights at Freddy's.
That was not a good movie.
Is the sequel out yet?
No, they just announced it, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't announce if it's going to be a house or a zone, or I made the joke that they're going to retheme the Fast and the Furious attraction at Orlando and on the tram to Five Nights at Freddy's. So you pull through there and have to see the videos. It'd be better than Fast and Furious.
It would be better than Fast and Furious. Geo points out that we're just going random now. They have announced that Rip Ride Rocket is going away. Any tears for that, Jeremiah or Mike?
I have tears from riding it, but not for it going away. I think every single person on my feed, because they announced this a while ago it was going away, but they finally gave us the date. And every person I know that has ridden it is happy that it is going away.
August 18th, 2025. Have you ever ridden it, Mike?
I don't think I've ever been on it, but I think of it as the roller coaster that goes through the old Ghostbusters firehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I have stood here many, way too many hours with a little person watching coasters go by.
Billy Barty. Anyone else?
Theme park mom.
Anyone else think of Sharknado when they see it? No?
I never saw, and it's Sharknado 4.
I don't know which one it is, but it is one of them.
This is where we were. We were that roller coaster is right above this little boy who did not want to go anywhere else but watch the coaster go over and over and over.
But he doesn't go on coasters though, right?
No, but he watches it. That right there is the best picture ever of what it is to be a dad in Orlando. I love that. I've never seen that picture, and I don't know when. That is great.
The roller coaster was also featured in an episode of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Really?
I remember, yes.
Sounds like an article in the making. Rip Ride Rocket, we hardly knew you. How is our headline not Rip Ride Rocket?
That's just too much. I'm
Okay,
pretty sure
Tony.
that's what they said in the show, though, this morning when I was watching.
Oh, good. Come back on real quick, Tony. Let me see if I can get this on here. I think I have to take you down, put me up.
Hey.
Get in. Take you down. All right. Where's Tony? There you go. All right, Tony, talk about this one real quick.
Well, that used to be the World of Motion Pavilion at EPCOT, and then in 1990-ish, is the mid-90s, they started developing Test Track, hit a few road bumps, opened in 1999.
97, I thought.
But now we're approaching its third iteration, which is inspired by the original World of Motion, and that's really all we know about it so far. But they have installed signage. Mostly, we have that one there. I think that one's been up for a little while, but the one that I caught was new. If you go back to that last picture, Doobie.
This one or this one?
And next, number 2. There you go. There
Stop
is
talking about bathrooms, Tony.
There's a tarp. Test Track doesn't have any good bathrooms. Best bathrooms in EPCOT are in the Living Seas Pavilion or behind Imagination. Moving on. There is this little tarp kind of between the construction wall and that hanging sign, and that's obviously the new marquee, most likely done and ready, still bagged up.
Okay.
So that was the new development for me.
Wow, breaking news.
Yep. And then the canopy overhead, that is no longer the weird convention style canopy, but rather a permanent, almost like a hotel portico share. Yeah.
Take that word. Portico share.
Sorry.
I'll meet you at the portico share.
And we'll call the concierge to bring a cab route to the portico share.
Not preposterous. What's the word I want? It starts with a P. It means like uppity.
Pretentious?
Pretentious. That is the most pretentious word in the world. Portico share.
Sorry.
Anyway, Mike, do you have a favorite place to go potty? And I don't mean standing up in the Disneyland.
In the whole resort or in the park?
Resort's easy. You go to a hotel. So let's say in the park. In the park.
Oh boy, yeah. The restroom near Autopia.
Really?
The old hidden one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Where the Skyway used to be.
Yeah.
Wow, it's changed then from when I used to.
That was an avoid at all costs.
I made a face because I don't go there often, but I know don't go to that one.
Why? It's always empty.
Yeah.
I said,
there's a reason for that.
It's all about the Space Mountain bathroom when they used to have the old music in there.
Wait, what was the reasoning? Why did you avoid it?
It did not feel like a particularly clean restaurant.
It wasn't clean.
It was typically chaotic and less refreshed.
But you got to go. You want to go to one that's empty.
Yeah, totally.
I think I walked out of that one with more toilet paper on my shoe than was in the stall.
How about you, Jeremiah? What is your preferred in-park restroom at pick your park, any park?
Any park?
Any park, but specifically for not standing up. Should I just say number 2? Is that less?
No, just say for a longer visit. Just leave it alone.
For a longer visit.
I really like the one in Animal Kingdom, the Pizza Fari one that connects to the outside also because it has the Pizza Fari music playing in it.
That is a good reason to choose a restroom. It's the soundtrack, accompanying soundtrack. I agree, for sure. Rebecca, do I dare ask you?
Any at Tokyo Disney.
Oh, my booty is so warm.
They are heated seats. They have music. They have sound to overcome any additional sounds that are happening in the bathroom. I appreciate it so much. Yeah.
Folks, this is it for Disney Parks Arc Live. We've hit the bottom, so thanks for joining us. It's been a good few years.
This is useful information, by the way. This one is one of the most disgusting restrooms.
Yeah, I was going to say this one is not pleasant anymore.
It's also too small.
It used to be, but now it's just.
I used to love the Tiki Room bathroom.
Yeah,
but nobody ever did that one.
That's a good one. I haven't checked out. Obviously, they just took down the walls around Adventureland. Mike, have you been to Disneyland since they took those walls down?
Yeah, I took pictures of that fountain.
Have you checked out the restrooms? Did they get any improvements? Or
those
have been open for a long time.
They weren't down. Bummer.
But the fountain still doesn't have water in it, though. That's the weird thing, because I walked up to it on Saturday expecting like a fountain, and it was just the statue of King Louis.
So there's this weird dynamic with the women's Adventureland bathroom.
I love this.
Back in the 90s, when back in the 90s, you ended up in a queue when you didn't need to queue because the way it was set up, you couldn't tell which stalls were open. Now you enter the bathroom and they've divided it up. There's a right.
Is there a light like the parking garages?
There's like a little hallway
It's
down
a
to the
number
right.
like World of Disney.
It's single doors, but then if you go to the left, it's double doors. You know, so you have like, you're walking a gauntlet of bathroom. Right? Stall. But if you take that right, it's just stall, and then a wall over here. Okay. Inevitably, you try to enter that bathroom, and there's a line leading to there. When you can just turn left and there's like, you know, woohoo, so many bathrooms.
The lights are
something about that bathroom because this is after the redesign. It used to be one way and now they've redesigned it at some point in the zeros. And now we're still struggling as women to use that bathroom effectively.
They need to bring the Animal Kingdom signs on the toilets to all the bathrooms.
Yeah, I agree.
The lights are good. The lights are a brilliant idea. Does Buc-ee's use the lights? Someplace use the lights I've seen. I can't remember where.
There was some place that had, there's one, I want to say it's like the DFW airport where they have like a little marker that kind of drops when the door shuts.
Yeah, that's the Animal Kingdom now has all of those. When you close it and lock it, it goes from green to red.
Yeah, that's so useful.
I love the thought that there is someone working in WDI whose job is the restrooms. That makes me happy. You don't think so, Tony?
I feel like that might be busy work, but yeah.
I mean, not everyone's a Tony Baxter.
I am just always grateful when there's a singular entrance and exit.
Steampunk bathroom if they were.
Because when there's a double entrance, it gets confusing. Not only if you have littles, but getting in and getting out. Sometimes you end up entering and it's like, oh, you bypass the whole line and then you're
Pizza Rizzo, people get lost in it.
Oh, that one was dreadful because you had the entrance from Pizza Rizzo, but then the entrance from outside.
I know.
And so you would end up in this
was a little prematurely for the record.
You would be in this standoff and you'd be like looking at the person and you're like, should I like only go to the bathroom if it's this far down? Or no, it was so awkward every time you go to the bathroom there, every time.
All right. Well, speaking of Pizza Rizzo and it not quite being time yet, has anybody gotten to watch this video?
Oh, this is so sweet.
This is very cool. I'm not going to play it. It's by Andrew Barth Feldman. Anybody know who that is?
He's an actor, and he's been in things that Luke knows because Luke and Kyle had quite the conversation about his career on the morning show.
This is a really fun song, so I'm going to play just a tiny bit. That actually gives some representation of what it is.
Though we know we will regret if we don't try.
Okay, there you go.
It's done very
farewell. It's a love song to Muppet Vision 3D. My favorite line though is about the goggles on. It's right after this line. He talks about getting the view of the Swedish chef.
I love you, Muppet Vision.
I don't want to ding. It's not worth the ding. But this one. Now, when my eyes are closed, I feel your goggles atop my nose. It's like my favorite line of the whole thing.
Brilliant work.
That's one of those lines that's going to stick with me. When I go to the park, I'm just going to have that line pop into my head. I feel the goggles atop my nose.
They were handing out the 3D glasses per person as I was going in the other day. Because if people don't have those purple glasses after 20 plus years,
they're not getting them now. What is the last day for Muppet Vision?
June 7th, my birthday, next Saturday.
And you're not going to be there, right, Jeremiah?
I am not going to be there. I will be. I'm going to go see Mickey's PhilharMagic on that day just to celebrate.
That's funny.
That's what I've heard. West Coasters are doing that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, as like a little way to homage the fact that Muppet Vision. Yeah, I know people are stopping by PhilharMagic.
I will tell you, I went into Mickey's Phil for the first time probably since it relocated into there. They put a giant wood stage over the penguins. They put fake pillars up. Like 10 minutes. 10 minutes, somebody could walk in there and go, okay, Muppets, back.
Will be shark bait? Oh, sorry.
And
by the way, speaking of 10 minutes and shark bait, have you seen that they have like skippers at the photo op?
That is so cool.
At Universal Studios Orlando, they had these photo ops in celebration because it's the 50th anniversary of the film. So they have these photo ops of the Amity Island scene as it was done in the attraction there. And they have these people now apparently who are there doing stuff. But Gideon was telling me, because I sent it over to my son because he knows this whole attraction dialogue. He could like probably check out as an operator on this as far as dialogue goes. They're not doing that. They're talking to you as if you have no idea what the attraction is. So they're like, so this is where this would happen, and this is when this would happen.
Actually,
Go ahead,
a team member?
They are team members, and they are actually, especially that one, because I know that one. They are all former Jaws skippers. Yeah, they are as authentic as can be.
This is a reason to get on a plane right here.
Gideon is losing his mind over this. He wants to be there so much. He's like, why are we not in Central Florida? Because the attraction closed before Gideon was tall enough to ride.
As much as he's like chomping at the bit, when you're there. Have you seen it, Tony? It's rather
I've
disappointing.
I've seen the setup, and it was a lot bigger than I thought.
I know he doesn't care, but like it's.
Do you
I walked up to that.
Sorry.
Do you remember what it was like? Do you remember what it was like to be a teenager and to encounter people who worked at the park, and you like didn't have a job yet, and you were just like, oh, these are like the coolest people ever. Okay, that's our teenager.
That is the coolest thing. Even if it's done poorly, I'll take your word for it, Jeremiah. It's the concept, the idea that they're doing it is the coolest thing in the world.
I just like that they're pulling the old ones, and that's why I jump back in to say that everyone that I've seen so far that has appeared is a skipper who is still at the company, and they just borrowed them for some shifts.
That's what
Gideon's going to go do it soon.
DJ Elliott, get back there.
Gideon recognized a few from older videos. I mean, the way he learned the dialogue, he was like, oh, I know I've watched that guy, So yeah, he is. It's like I say, it's one of those times where right now the boy is. Why aren't we in Florida, Mom?
I know.
They also have already sold out of the sippers.
Wow.
The shark with the tank.
Sold out of what they had there, because it's a couple of weeks late already.
It was always everything I was always told was that it was coming in June, so I was surprised it hit on June 1st. But then I know people who went today, and they were like, they're already sold out. So,
wow. Well, speaking of sold out, that key to Disneyland, that big piece of key that you would go around and use all over the land, it's currently sold out at the park. It appears. So I'm interested to see how long it takes to restock.
Yeah, Mike, when you're in the parks, definitely keep an eye on that, because if that doesn't come back quickly, that's a huge disappointment.
Well, like I said, when I was there Saturday, I didn't see it anywhere, but the next day I was hearing people telling me that it was in the Emporium.
Yeah.
So.
The reports.
So you keep an eye out too, Jeremiah. Shoot.
The socials I've been seeing and have indicated that it sold out, and when we were there, they had consolidated the inventory to the Disney showcase. They were telling people supplies are limited. They're at the showcase is what we were told when we were there. I want to say a week or so after it dropped. So
I will tell you, at the Disneyland show and sale yesterday, I could have bought one at every single booth.
Mm-hmm. They're selling them for just about retail.
Yeah, without the pin though. The pin, if you go on especially Facebook Marketplace, every pin is up for $150 at least.
Whoa, really?
Yep.
Mike, take it off.
The tragedy is I'm not even sure where mine is.
That was the best moment from Mike ever.
I know it's around here somewhere.
Which one did you get, Mike?
The Partners statue.
Partners.
All right, a couple other quick items. Anyone know who Michelle yeah, I know. This is why I idolize Jeremiah. Anyone know who? Oh, you never worked at Disney, though. Anyone know who Michelle Care is? Khare?
Our son does.
Yeah.
Hello again. So Michelle Ikari, I believe is how you say her last name, is the leader of a YouTube channel. She has her own YouTube channel, and she has a show called Challenge Accepted. and she'll accept challenges. And lately, she's been doing a lot where she is trying out different occupations. And one of them has brought her to Disney Imagineering. And there she plays with model making. She actually, what I thought was kind of cool, was she assembles a BDX droid, because God knows Disney Imagineering loves and needs those BDX droids to disperse around the world. She builds one, assembles one, names one, paints one, and then debuts it at Disneyland Paris. That's kind of cool. But yeah, so the rest of it is just kind of like a walkthrough of what Imagineering does. Great for newcomers to the craft, but kind of redundant if you're an aggressive Disney fan.
And Gideon will tell you to watch this video, look in the background, and just see what little tidbits from WDI.
I wrote the post and I kind of hinted the same thing. There's always little fun details in the background. In the model making shop, you can see all the Toontown houses back there too. Yeah. The holotile floor that she ends up going to, you can definitely see a lot of black curtains. So they're hiding some stuff in that particular.
I always loved that when there'd be an Imagineering video and then there'd be that curtain. You're like, oh, what's behind the curtain?
Yep. All right. Let's see. Benji wrote a fun article, getting the Disney parks back on the treadmill, which, I actually read. And
I haven't read it yet.
It's interesting because he talks about how Universal seems to continuously be going forward. They don't take breaks. And Disney, they'll go and they'll take a break and they'll go and they'll take a break. And it's time for them to go again. And maybe they are with the Abu Dhabi announcement. And, we'll see what's happening with all the projects that were announced at Ultimate Fan Event. So, but, Benji's very good at thought pieces. And so he thought and made a piece. Duffy is coming to the Hong Kong Disneyland 20th anniversary parade. Fantastic parade. Real quick. On a scale of 1 to 4, no halvesies allowed. Jeremiah, how much do you like Duffy and his friends?
I was actually in Hong Kong when they debuted the different costumes for the characters for the Fantastic Parade. Mm-hmm. Duffy has been part of my life pretty strongly for a handful of years, so I enjoy Duffy. I would love to actually get a picture with some of the friends, except I don't want to wait 3 hours for Stella Lou or Shelly May or any of those. I'll do Duffy at Christmas time for Jollywood Nights.
There you go. Is that Duffy? Yeah, is that right there in his hat? How about you, Mike? You a big Duffy fan?
I think you can guess by now that there's a fairly narrow window of things that I am genuinely interested in.
Star Wars, not including the prequels, and Angry Donald Duck. We have found out that Universal. You showed a picture of you and Duffy. Okay, how about you, Rebecca?
I am a huge fan of Duffy because many moons ago, this little Duffy that was pink, because it was Disney Bear back then, yielded me quite a bit of bake via eBay. So I am always appreciative and grateful for the Duffy.
There's Mike looking for his pink Duffy.
Looking for the pin.
Yeah, I want to say that I ended up did I end up getting like 11? It was 700 or 1100.
Hundreds. I know it was hundreds.
It was multiple hundreds, and it was because a friend said, "Hey, have you looked at eBay and see what those colorful Disney bears are going for?"
And we didn't buy. It was after we were done playing with it. We didn't buy it.
Yeah, no, I'd had it for years. No, I'd had it for years. Yeah, her name was Eleanor Bear, because it was like LP Bear, and so I used to take pictures of her around the park. And and then somebody said, "Hey, have you seen?" And so I was like, "Okay, cool." And so and then she went to Japan.
Much like our son, we've got a price. No, just kidding.
Oh, by the way, Kyle pointing out that you can not only see Your Highness, but hear Benji's piece as well on the latest On Balance.
I always hear up here, but the ears are actually down here, aren't they?
Like you're saluting, but it's looking here.
And the best news in today's show is Universal Fan Fest is coming back next year.
Oh,
you two have both done it.
Yeah.
Should people be excited? Get those tickets ready?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I hope they change up some of this stuff.
What would you like to see? What would either of you like to see come to Universal Fan Fest?
We were talking about this, my wife and I, and Jurassic Park would be great. Jaws. All the anything.
Yeah, all the main reason that the One Piece and those is because they came from Japan. So this started in Universal over there. So they brought it over here, and then I've heard that it could be coming to Florida, but I believe that's at least 2 years away.
Is Tony sticking around? Oh no, I thought Tony popped back up. He did. Did he have something? You have something to say, right? Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Just wants to bother me with that fan. That's all.
No, I was sorry. Yeah, I want to hear. There you go. Just right there for the fan. But no, I was doing a thumbs up to Mike saying Jurassic Park because that's exactly what I would have said. Also,
what would they do? Like dinosaurs, like you get at the? I mean, no. How do you do the dinosaurs?
No, you have like an Alan Grant and a Ian Malcolm and a
you could use one of the sound stages or wherever they're doing them. I assume the sound stages, and do the storm scene where the T-Rex attack. You could. There's a touring exhibition. That's
I know.
Literally a walkthrough thing.
I've been to it.
We went to them.
Yeah,
I've been to it.
That was amazing.
I'm just asking. You don't have to attack me.
We kind of already have that in Florida.
The funny thing is, all of this stuff happened years and years and years ago when Jurassic came out. When Hollywood used to have walkthroughs.
Promote the movie.
Yeah, they had a Casper, they had a Jurassic, they had a Small Soldiers. And you'd walk through and everything was there. But
I watched the Casper one on old YouTube videos, and I get upset that they never built a dark ride because Universal desperately needs some kind of like haunted house dark ride, and that's perfect. And obviously, the time is come and gone for that. But that Whipstaff Manor would have been fantastic, but they had to film that Backstreet Boys music video there instead. Moving on.
Then they could theme the escape room to that instead of the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, and that would make a lot of sense.
Either one.
Okay, we've seen it both ways. All right. Anybody got anything else they want to say before we close out this week? Jeremiah's just ready to go.
I do.
Too bad, Jeremiah. Go ahead.
This weekend in Dayton, Ohio is going to be Dayton Disneyana. It's a fun event. There's an enormous area where you can buy various Disney collectibles, new and previously loved. They also have like the latest lounge flies and things like that, lots of vendors. But in addition to that, they have auctions and giveaways, and 100% of what they collect there, minus the credit card processing, goes directly to feeding local school kids. So they work with a local organization to provide food to kids in need. So if you are in Dayton, Ohio, please come visit, tell your friends. By the way, the LP crew, some of us are going to be there. Benji, Doobie, Gideon, myself, we're going to be there throughout the weekend for some events. So you can check out their Facebook page and their website for more details. Yes, Mr. Jeremiah, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was going to ask, aren't there some nerds talking
during
this event?
Yeah. We're actually doing a Saturday afternoon talk. We're chronicling the company. We're going to talk about a little bit of the history of Laughing Place.
A red balloon. And
then we're doing a tier list of everyone that's ever worked at LP. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
And then Sunday, Doobie and Gideon are going to do a live version of the trivia show that they host on YouTube. So like I say, if you have friends in that Ohio area, it's really close to a lot of different places, easy drive. We have lots of people who come. I've been helping out this organization for a few years now, and we have people who come from a wide variety of states up there in the Northeast. It's so much more compact than us out here in the West, where it's like a long drive to everywhere. So I don't know what Mr. down there is doing. So
that's where I'd probably rank for you guys.
Oh, well, it's a tier list. We're not that mean. We're not. We're not going to do straight ranking.
C.
Keep trying.
C for confident. C for you must be crazy. That's Tony Betty, everyone. Literally my favorite person in the entire world. Anybody else got anything they want to say?
I keep trying.
All right. Good. Well, then we're done. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back. Yeah, next Monday I'll be tired, but I'll be back. And until then, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Casey over.